We are so trained in the hustle mindset. You need to hustle, hustle, hustle all the time. You can be successful by working limited number of hours if you do it with the right energy.
I think it's very essential and important to have a work-life balance.
There is no work-life balance. It's a myth. Nobody tells you have to balance motherhood and life. The only thing that you need to work upon is giving equal importance to things.
In startup journeys, money is a very essential part of the business.
Money is a currency, but it is an energy first. If you are not able to attract the energy, you will not be able to hold the currency. Your business is going to run on your energy. The most important thing for any founder is to be a creator.
Startups need right people, right opportunities, right founders, right investors, and right clients.
I think you don't attract the right people, you create the right people.
Hi everyone, welcome to Stories That Matter, where conversations aren't just heard, they are felt. Starting a business is not just a financial journey, it's an energetic, emotional, and a spiritual journey in itself. Many people have the desire to start something on their own, but they feel stuck. This conversation is for every dreamer, founder, creator, professional who has that inner calling to create something meaningful and beautiful. How to attract the right opportunities, and how to deal with self doubt, monetary pressures, uncertainty when it creeps in. In today's episode, we'll explore the spiritual side of startups with Master Vani Kabir. So, without any wait, let's welcome Master Vani Kabir on Stories That Matter. On this show, you have often talked about spirituality, you've talked about emotional resilience and different aspects of spirituality. But today, I want to talk and touch base with a very different concept of how spirituality is aligned with startups.
Number one, I don't think that I did like a startup. I think it was just me being pushed into the genre of spirituality. Before this, I was an advertising professional and I was working a great job. I was a senior creative director. And then how spirituality opened up for me. And when spirituality opened up for me, I had this idea of creating and making spirituality simple for people. And that was my first initiative. But it was like a work from home initially. So it was, I think we started back in 2020 and we're already 6 years old.
So, how's the journey being?
Hard. I think for the people who think that because it is spirituality and it should be free and it should be easy and it should be there's hardly anything to do in that, you just need one person, it's all not true. It is it's probably harder than selling any other product, because spirituality as a service and the spiritual products, they all have metaphysical benefits, they don't have tangible benefits.
True.
Like you cannot say I'm selling a
Yeah.
toothpaste and I'm going to make your teeth white. So you're telling them that we're selling you a crystal which is going to work on your faith and belief about that crystal. So of course it is a much tougher space to be in, harder to sell, and at the same time it's all about faith. So it's a very beautiful fine line of understanding what state people are in. It is not just about selling a product. It is more about understanding that what is it that they are feeling in their life, where is it that they are stuck in their life, what is blocking them. So it's like a R&D, and then the creation of the product happens from there.
How can someone attract the right business idea which aligns well with their energy, with their purpose at the same time?
I think there is no way of arriving at the right business idea, because spiritually your energy grows. It's not like in the first go you're going to hit with the idea that is going to make you famous or rich or known or whatever your goal is from that idea. I think it is always a progress that you do, because your energy progresses. It's not like you're here and your energy is going to shoot up here and you will suddenly have this great business idea in go one, and that first business idea is going to get you the millions that you want. It's never going to happen like that. So what happens is that you start building up, and it's like a
Okay.
brick by brick process. So you may start off as a writer, And it's not necessary that you will end up with a book.
Mm-hmm.
You may start off as a writer, you may end up as an actor. You may start off as a painter, you may end up as a dancer. So it's the graph of your energy that takes
Mm-hmm.
you to the levels that you want to be at. So one of the things that I want to tell people who want to start off with a business idea, whether they are housewives, whether they are people who've quit their job or they want to change their 9 to 5 into something of their own, to not confuse themselves so much with finding a business idea that is going to get them the first million instantly. They should go ahead with the idea that convinces them that this idea, I will not get bored if I work on this idea for at least 1.5 years. If they have that idea, they should start with that. And then within that 1.5 years, the energy will shift 3 to 4 times and they will exactly know what direction to take. So there's so many possibilities attached to an idea. But what people don't understand is that when they think of an idea, they think that, you know, this is the idea that I'm going to do for the next 20 years. And they already feel bored with it
Yeah.
because they are visualizing something without the expansion of it. And
Yep.
that is why they don't start.
Mm.
So you have to start where you are. You don't have to like
Mm.
wait for something to manifest so that you can start. The
Exactly.
starting itself is the sign. You don't have to wait
Mm.
for a sign to start up.
You start where you are,
Absolutely, you start where you are.
and eventually you get into that journey of self expansion
Absolutely,
and growth.
100%. If you ask me that 6 years ago, if I would have visualized that this is what is going to happen, today,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think no anyone can. So
Mm-hmm.
you can have this overarching goal saying that, okay, this is how
Mm-hmm.
I would want my startup to be. I want it to be a Fortune 500. I want it to be a 100 crore company. I want it to, you can just overarch it. But
Mm-hmm.
the steps towards that, you cannot identify all the steps together. That you will only know when you walk the road.
Okay, when we are taking that baby step of doing or having the idea of starting your own business, what fear or struggle a person might face, the biggest fear a person face in that startup journey
I
at
think
the very initial stage?
even before the startup, they have the fear of that I'm not good enough. There are
Mm.
other people who are better than me, no matter what field you take. You take acting, you take podcasting, you take digital
Mm.
marketing, you take influencer, you take somebody who wants to sell bags, somebody who wants to sell art. There's always someone better. And I think that's the first and the biggest fear, that I may not be perceived as that person or these
Mm.
5 people. And somewhere in their head, they have this notion that if I'm not perceived in the right way, that's going to be the value that I'm going to be at.
Okay.
While they have to understand that there's no one judging them. There is no
Mm.
judgment around it. You're
True.
never going to be,
True.
um, you know, there is going to be judgment for the work that you are going to do. The
Mm.
comparison comes a lot later, and that's
True.
something that you deal with when you come to it.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I see who are probably 10, 10 years into their work, into their business, and still not compared with anybody.
Mm.
So thinking of that I'm not good enough is an instant way of inviting comparison and judgment into your life. And then that comparison and judgment is going to sit in the place of hard work,
Yeah.
and it's not going to let you do the hard work,
Yeah.
because you're always going to think that you're going to be comparing your chapter 1 with somebody's chapter 22,
Correct.
and that's not the right way of looking at it. So the biggest
Mm.
fear is I'm not good enough.
What can help them to get rid of this idea? It's somewhere feels like it's a belief which is there in their mind. How can they get rid of that notion and the belief that they are not good enough?
There are a lot of ways to actually work around with it. The first thing is to fix your energy. But what they don't understand is that your business is going to run on your energy. It's not going to run on anybody else's ideation and energy. The way anyone else is going to look at, even your own parents, even your own brother, anyone else is not going to be able to look at your work, your business, and your energy the way that you can. So, the first thing that they don't do is to sit with themselves, to actually ideate alone. So if you want to start up something, give yourself 22 days, and in those 22 days, 30 minutes of a day, sit alone with that idea, no one else, and then try to chalk out and see how you would want that idea to be. What is your delulu around that idea? Like, how delusional are you about it? What do
Yeah.
you want to create with this? And how passionate you feel about it? That is a very solo journey. But a lot of people that I meet and I see, they're the ones who don't value their own energy, their own idea, their own thought process. They just have an idea and now they want to take it to someone else for them to shape your idea into being. That how do I start up? I want to learn from someone else, or I need a partner, or I need, advisor to help me start off with this. All of those things you need. But before all of that, you need you. So that idea came to you out of the pile of people. The idea said, I want to go to her. And when the idea chooses you, you need to work with that idea first rather than going and running around, taking your idea from one person to another and another to another. That's not how energy functions. So when your energy is there with you, you have to trust it, you have to have the faith, and you have to sit with yourself to identify what that idea wants to unfold as. So that is how you get rid of that I'm not good enough, because the more you work with these things on your own, that is how you will understand that what is the potential of the idea, how can I grow it, how can I expand it. And then when you take that complete idea to another person, that's when you are able to align their vision with yours.
True. Let's say they have fixated an idea, they worked on it for 21 days, and they are very sure they want to work on their idea and the plan they have in mind. But somewhere they might feel stuck in terms of going ahead. They might need somebody's assistance, maybe a spiritual mentor, maybe a business icon who can help them to speed up that idea.
Yeah. That there are three kinds of blockages that a person faces when they want to do a startup. The number one blockage is relationship. They have immense relationship pressure, whether it is coming from their parents or their peers or their friends or their girlfriend or their wife. Startup has always been a very scary place for relationships, because they think, a lot of relationships think that, okay, now because this person is going into a startup, they are going to work 24/7. They will not have the time, they will not have this, whether we are going to be stable enough, whether we are going to be having the amount of money that we earn right now, whether we're going to have that or no. So it's a very unstable ground for relationships. So that's block number one. The block number two is the finding the right kind of people to understand your idea. So there are these two battles that you're fighting with at the simultaneous level. And the third one is, in case you have a health issue. So, and on top of that, if you have a physical health issue, it is still okay. But if you have a mental health issue, it's not going to help you. So if you're an anxious person starting off a business, it's going to be hell of a ride for you. So these are the three areas that you need to fix simultaneously before starting. And spirituality helps you in all these three areas. A lot of people think that starting a business idea is about a business degree, or just having a great mind which is good with numbers, or just interpersonal skills that you're going to have the right people and you can make people work for you and you can influence them. It is, all of those things are just the surface level. But you have to fix your relationship, which means that you need to fix the energy of your home. Then you need to fix the energy of your faith, because then you're going to allow the right kind of people. So, which means that you have to be a master at manifesting the right kind of people, the right kind of opportunities, and the right kind of income that is going to help you generate that idea. And the third is that you also need to manifest, and you also need to work on your mental health. Because what you've been doing at a job or what you've been doing at your home is absolutely not the kind of energy and effort that your idea is going to require. So if you don't have that, all these three boxes ticked completely, or at least 80% of it through with it, you will start off with something and you will shut it down in 365 days.
But how to manifest it the right way then?
You work with crystals, you work with meditation, you work with exercising, you work with centering yourself, you ground yourself every day. utmost important. You cannot be a great business owner if you are not doing any of these things. You need to have your top three. Like, I have meditation, I have journaling, and then I have my own solo time, which I spend with myself. These three things are non negotiable for me. If I'm
Okay.
not doing these things, I am not centered. If I miss any of these things in a day, I go to office, and that's the day that I'm not taking the best decisions. So that's what you do for your mental health.
So startups need right people,
Yeah.
right opportunities, right founders, right investors, and right clients. How a person can attract all of them with their energy.
I think you don't attract the right people, you create the right people. And that is where spiritual mentorship comes in. That when you create an environment for a person to grow, is when they get aligned to your business. I don't think you can align a person when they come to an interview, and no matter how much gyan you give them, they are not going to be aligned. You can talk to them, and you can discuss things with them in meetings, and you can have boardroom discussions, and you can find the right partner and all of that, but they still may not be aligned to what you want to create. That alignment only happens with energy. It doesn't happen with anything else. So if I want to find a person who's going to be energetically completely aligned with me, that person does not exist. But if I hire a person whose energy is good, then I can match my energy to his energy and his energy to my energy. That is what I do by working with that person. As I said, again, crystals play a very important role. The other thing that happens is when you share your ideas with the other person, when you're discussing things with the other person, and you have the capacity to understand when they say no about something. A
Yeah.
lot of people think that because I'm the business owner and I have a great idea, everybody needs to say yes to it.
Yeah.
You only need to align the top 5 people of your company with you, and rest everything will roll on. If the top 5 are aligned, they will align. Each one of them is going to align the next 5 and the next 5, and that's how a network of people who are going to be aligned with one single cause is built. But if your top 5 are not aligned, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Taking a vacation with them, taking a break with them, spending time outside of your office or outside of your work with them, going on a spiritual retreat with them, or maybe just spending a day of a spiritual talk or a spiritual session. It just changes the way that you look at things. It just opens up a new window for them, and they understand your energy better. So imagine that I have a CEO in the company, and I do not understand him energetically at all,
Yeah.
but he is a procrastinator by nature. And all the time I'm telling him, why are you procrastinating? Why are you procrastinating? But if I understand his energy type, I can go back and say, okay, why is it that you're not sleeping well? Because he's not sleeping well, he's procrastinating everything the next day. Why is it that you feel that you're so burdened with everything? So how can you unload yourself of certain things? So when you make conversations like those, they are problem solving conversations, not problem pointing conversations. So when I meet you, I'm not pointing a problem that you have, I'm giving you a question that will help you solve the problem that you're facing. And that is what spiritual wisdom does to you, because when you're aware of those things, when you understand the people who work with you on an energy level, it just becomes super super easy for everyone to get along with the tough part of creating a startup.
What are the key energy characteristics, or you can say the energy architecture, a startup person needs to carry or embody in themselves?
So I think the most important thing for any founder is to be a creator.
Okay.
And the only limit that they should not have is their imagination. Like, they cannot have a single track mind. They need to have like a very varied, rich imagination about how they want to see their businesses grow. Now, there are two types of founders. One is that one founder is who's going to pick up an idea and make it better and put it out in the world. And another kind of a founder is going to create an idea and then make it, start it from a scratch and then put it out. So the one who's picking, it's like founder A has an idea to make a certain kind of bag. but bags are already done, but it's a certain kind of bag.
Correct.
And the idea is to look at that bag in a new way. Most of the people fall in that category. And then there are, the founders, which are like Elon Musk, who are just trying to create something which is unimaginable,
Doesn't exist.
doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And they're just creating the reality as they speak. So they are the magician founders, and these are the other founders that are there. But in both of these cases, you cannot do without creativity. You cannot be a great founder if you are not a great creator.
So that's the most essential energy.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
need
The
to carry.
energy of creation, which is what the energy of manifesting is, which is what I said. You need to be a great manifester. So you really have to work on your manifesting skills all the time, consistently throughout, day in, day out. It has to be like eating food. It has to be like the motivation talk that you hear. It has to be like the podcast that you listen to. It has to be like the book that you read. You have to continuously work on your manifestation skills. And it is a skill, more than um, it being a spiritual woo woo. It is a skill to hone, because all that manifestation requires is consistency.
So what's the myth you want to break around manifestation today?
That people think that manifestation is something that they cannot do. They have to have a special set of tools or a special set of environment to manifest. And that if they do 30 minutes of manifesting in a day, that's going to change their life. So none of this is true. You are manifesting every second of your life. And because you're manifesting every second of your life, it also, applies to everything that you're going to do in that day. So maybe in the morning you're with your family, the afternoon is your work, till evening is your family and friends again. In the night, again, it's yourself. You're manifesting each and every second of it. It's not anything, it's not something that you can avoid. Even if you don't think about it, you're manifesting. So the better you become at that skill, the better you will get the results.
Yeah, true. So in startup journeys, money is a very essential part of the business, and a lot of people get stuck at that point of not raising enough of funds or not able to sustain their daily needs, and they might have some financial blocks which are blocking them not to go ahead to their ideas or to their startup journey. So how a person can identify those beliefs and how they can work on them, work towards the solutions rather than the problems.
So if you have a financial block and you want to have a startup, of course, you need to fix the financial block first. So, financial blockages happen due to karma and ancestral blockages. So, karma is that there's something that you did. It can be this life or your past life, and you
Yeah.
created a block for yourself in your wealth. Ancestral is that there's something that went on in your lineage. Maybe your father or your grandfather, they were businessmen or people who were working for somebody, but they lost their job and they had to shift their house, or their business failed, or somebody cheated them in the business. So all of this is happening in your lineage. And when all of this is happening in your lineage, it is going to come down to you, because your lineage isn't going anywhere. So you need to first fix those things and get yourself out of the monetary block, because your relationship block can still be, sustained and worked upon simultaneously as you grow your business.
Okay.
Your health and your mental health can be worked upon simultaneously, but the wealth block cannot be worked upon simultaneously. So that is one thing that you need to get
Okay.
out before. So again, spiritual mentorship. When you have spiritual people around you, they're going to guide you that, okay, this block is inherited, this block is your behavior, this block is your karma. These are the ones that we can fix, these are the ones that we leave. But this is how you start accumulating wealth, because people think that wealth accumulation is the product of money management. Money is a currency, but it is an energy first. So if you are not able to attract the energy, you will not be able to hold the currency. So it will come, but it'll go. So if the energy is not right, you can attract, occasional wins, but they're not going to stay and they're not going to become consistent. And if they're not consistent, you will not be able to build the business. So addressing your financial block is imperative to starting off anything new. Because if you think that your idea, a lot of people think that I want to start this business and this business requires 100 dirhams, and so I have 100 dirhams today, and I'm going to do this because for the first month it will require 100 dirhams. But what will happen in month 2 and month 3 and month 8? So when you envision for your for your business, you need to keep 1000 days in your mind. If you do not plan for 3 years before starting your business, and you have to think that if in these 3 years I don't even earn a single penny, can I sustain it? If you don't have that, then you are totally hand to mouth. So then after 3 months or 4 months, you're going to get into a desperate state. You're going to create more blocks for yourself, and not just blocks for yourself. They would stay in your generation. That you started something and you failed at it. And so that's going to stay. So the better idea is to start late, but start prepared. So if you don't have the fund for 3 years, you are not going to be able to sustain the pressure that's going to come your way.
So when we are talking about this whole startup journey, I think it's very essential and important to have a work-life balance. So how do a person can actually ensure that they cater to both sides of the coin?
There is no work-life balance. It's a myth. It's something that has been coined by the corporate culture, that you need to have a work and a life balance. But let me ask you this: is your life just about work? It is about so many other things: your relationships, your own dreams, your travel, your vacation, your health, your goals in life, your couple goals in life, about your children. So they've put all of those things into life, and they've just segregated the work and said that, okay, this is the big part and everything else falls into life, and we need to balance it. How can you balance something which is already lopsided?
Yeah.
So if there's so much in one area and there's only this much in one area, it's already lopsided.
Correct.
Right? So you can't balance it. This part is already going to be heavy. So all that you need to create is a life balance. Work is a part of your life, even if you're spending 8 to 9 hours at it, but still it is a part of your life, right? Nobody tells a homemaker woman saying that you need to balance your homemaking and your life. She's also spending all the time into being a homemaker or a mother. Nobody tells you you have to balance motherhood and life. So why is it a work-life balance? It's just a cliche, and it's just created by corporates to make the employees feel better that we are working towards creating your work-life balance. There is no work-life balance. The only thing that you need to work upon is balancing your life and giving equal importance to things. Like downtime is very important. So you must give yourself some downtime, because that is when your brain is going to rewire things and put them in a space where you are able to make sense of that idea later. So if you have a lot of chaos and you don't have any downtime, the chaos is going to multiply. But if you have a lot of chaos and you give yourself some downtime, the chaos is going to rewire itself and present you something meaningful. So that is something which is a completely non-negotiable.
And what would be the best strategy as per you to decompress after work hours and to shut yourself 100% away from work?
I think there are so many great 5 minute, 10 minutes meditations online on YouTube that talk about unwinding of the day. And and you should definitely do it. It just takes, like, most of them are, I think, around 7 to 8 minutes, 10 minutes. That's it. So when you come home, when you want to unwind, just do that meditation before you sleep, or the moment that you come home, or sometimes during the shower also you can do that. So that unwinding is just, telling your brain that I need to shut this file now. So you have
It's
to.
hard, actually. It's hard when you have, business pressures, especially in startup journey, when you have financial pressures, and or if you
Because
are in a job.
everyone's taught the hustle mindset, no? You've been taught and you've been pressurized to think that if you're not working till 2 a.m. in the night, you're not a good business owner. But that's not true. You can end up your day at 7. You may have thoughts around it, journal it. You may have ideas around it. You may just want to listen to a podcast which gives you peace also, and it also gives you a lot of intellect and good information and knowledge. All of those things are recreational, but
True.
you don't have to continuously sit at the computer all the time, every day, the moment you come back home. If you're doing that, it is a strategy to burn out. So even if you become successful, you're just going to be the victim of your own success.
Mm. Ensuring you don't burn out at the end of the day.
Absolutely, absolutely, 100%. Because
Mm.
the cost of the burnout for the company is more than the cost of the burnout of the person.
Mm.
So we think that, oh, okay, I'm just not available for 2 days. But for those 2 days, those 50 people, those 60 people, those 10 people in your company, multiply those 2 days with each of theirs 2 days. So you're at a loss of those many number of days, because
Mm.
even those people are directionless when you are not there. So the cost of the burnout is a lot more. So spiritually, you need to protect your energy, and you can protect it by doing smaller things. If you feel that you had a very heavy day,
Mm.
there was a major discussion, come back home, take a bath with salt and coffee, and mix coffee powder with salt, take a bath. You'll feel very refreshed, very energized. You'll sleep better. And the next day, you will be able to address the same problem with a newer mindset.
Mm.
You know, if you think that you're going to solve the problem by being in it, all the time and trying to find like the dig, always, digging the solution from here and there. No, sometimes your mind already knows the answer.
Mm.
You just need to give it that space and that peace to plug everything
Correct.
together and present the answer to you. But that is something
Mm.
that we are not able to do because we are
True.
so trained in the hustle mindset that, oh, we need to hustle, hustle, hustle all the time. If I'm not hustling, I'm not getting anywhere. It's the absolute opposite of creation of wealth. It's the absolute opposite of creation of fame and success. So
Okay.
you can be successful by working
Mm.
limited number of hours if you do it with the right energy.
True.
You some days, you go to office and you're just so
Mm.
productive,
True.
and on that particular day you are able to achieve so much more than you're able to achieve on the other days, and you finish your work on time and you can come back home and you can do everything that you want to
Mm.
do. It's a great day. So
True.
if that day can happen once, that day can happen any number of times.
Mm. What are the key lessons you have learned in your entrepreneurial journey?
The first one is this only. Because I was also trained to hustle, because I was in advertising, and being a senior creative director, either you're taking flights or you're shooting or you're preparing a script or you're meeting a client
Mm.
and you're working. Like I used to reach back home at 9, and by 10, I would finish my dinner and take a bath and then again sit with the laptop till 12. That's something that I completely don't follow now. Like I
Okay.
don't follow it at all. I finish my day at 7,
Okay.
max 7:30. Then 7:30 to 10:15, I give myself a total break. I'm absolutely not doing anything. I'm either with my cats, with my family, eating, watching movie,
Mm.
or and then around 10:15, I would go to my den, which is my personal space. And there I would first reply to the messages the people have sent me, and I refer to the DMs and things like that. Then I would sit down and journal, how my day was, what I want to let go, what I want to unwind. On some days when I don't want to journal, I put a meditation. So that's what I do. I do not sleep without a meditation. I may miss my meditation in the morning, but I don't miss my meditation at night, because that
Mm.
unwinding is very, very, very important. And then, of course, my crystals,
Mm.
I rely on them beautifully, and they're just magical things to have around you. And some days when you, just because you couldn't sleep well, I don't want the rest of the day to go bad even if I did not sleep well. So I use the help of crystals to do that.
Mm.
Coffee bath or a salt bath, they come very, very handy. One of the things that I also do is that I put music, which is, binaural beats, or I would just put a piano and a rain music while I'm working and creating an idea, because that sound really helps you to calm down your nervous system, and you're producing that idea without the fear of what is going to happen when I launch this idea. So you're
Okay.
just in the moment of creation when you have that music running as a background. So these are the small things that really help people. You
Mm,
really don't need big things. And then, of course, I have my masters who are my spiritual mentors. And people think that spirituality and business are two different things. That absolutely not. You'll be surprised how a spiritual mentor is going to shape you up
mm,
and prepare you for the battles that are going to happen in real time. Whether it is your money, your relationship, your health, your career, your people, your attrition, they're going to help you with everything. Like there was a time when, you know, four of my most important people resigned and I was in Amsterdam. And
okay.
I didn't know what to do. I was not expecting it. And in half
Mm,
an hour, I got four resignations. And I just called up my master and I said, this is what happened.
mm,
And the first thing that she said was, congratulations,
okay.
it's a new beginning. And I'm like,
Okay.
"Ugh, I don't know how to function this. I don't know how to process it. She said, you don't have to do anything.
Mm,
Just tell them thank you. Tell them for, that they did a great job of what they did. And tell them a bigger thank you that they decided to leave because it means that you're going to progress and someone new is going to come up with some
mm.
new ideas.
So, what was the biggest challenge you have faced in this startup journey of yours,
I think
if
it's
you can
aligning
remember?
people, aligning people. And I think that's what most of the founders and entrepreneurs and people face, that they don't have people who understand why they want to build what they want to build. And it
Mm,
has been people. The biggest, so far the biggest challenge has been that money was not the issue,
mm,
because once you know the formula of, that okay, this is how you can you can build money.
mm,
You don't necessarily do it from your business, but the moment you start earning from the business, you invest into so many other places,
mm,
and then those places become your bucket where you get the money from. So money, after some time, if you have a good idea, will not be your problem.
mm,
Your relationships and your relationships with people
mm.
and your staff and your the people who are going to work with you, your clients, your vendors, they are the ones who become a challenge, especially the people who work with you.
So, Master Vani, what were your top three key learnings in your entrepreneurial journey?
The first one, don't hustle.
Okay.
That you don't have to work till 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. and reach office at 8 a.m. It's a strategy for burnout. So
Mm-hmm.
even if you achieve success like that, again, you're going to be just the victim of it. So that's what I learned, that this is a short thing for not doing. Like this is a big cross.
Mm,
So don't hustle.
mm-hmm.
Instead, use your energy wisely.
Okay.
Be more, make your energy in a way that it becomes more productive rather than slogging around it.
Okay.
So that's number one. Number two, I think, is winding down. Winding
Mm,
down your day is very, very important. I think a lot of people miss the need and the quality that it brings to your sleep. And because you sleep better, you're able to address the same problem with a new mindset the next day. So winding down, whether through a great bath, through music,
mm,
through good food, through meditation, people can have their pick. Some people just read before they sleep. So you can have your pick, but you need to
mm,
definitely have a 30 minutes winding down every single day. The third one is your alone time, which is very, very crucial for an entrepreneur to at least sit 30 minutes, when everything finishes. Like I do it at night, so I
mm-hmm.
go to my den and
Mm,
I be there for like 30-40 minutes, even if I'm not doing anything, even if I'm rearranging my room. But in my mind, when I'm
mm,
rearranging my room, I'm also rearranging my thoughts.
mm.
So you don't have to always do things, but you just need to be in the energy of creation all the time, where you are fixing things or creating something which is going to be a solution to the problem that you're facing. So, yeah, these three things.
So, what's the next big idea you're working on?
I'm working on Evrenru. It is a system where I truly believe that people need to look at spirituality more like a system that works with them, rather than something that they have to only achieve when they become 60 and they have to go on a mountain and they need to become spiritual. I think it needs to be a part of the daily life. And Evrenru is that system that
Mm-hmm.
I channeled in 2022. And we've touched more than 1 million lives with
Wow,
that.
congratulations.
So we are just now trying to build it in a tangible way, and that people can have it on their mobile phone and they can work around with it. So
Okay.
hopefully we'll be able to do this year. And I've also almost at the verge of finalizing my book. So I think these
Wow.
are the two big things.
Looking forward to have
Yes.
the book in hand.
Yes.
The key takeaway I have today from your conversations is hustle mindset is not beneficial for businesses anymore. Unwinding is very important before you go to bed.
Yeah.
And the third one is work life balance is a myth.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on Stories That Matter again and sharing your wisdom and your insights
Thank
on how people on startup journey can shape this journey in a beautiful way. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming to
Thank
my
you.
show.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.